So, do you have these huge piles of books, and I mean huge, that you just wish more than anything to get through? Or do you, like me, just have this crazy TBR bookshelf on, let's say, Goodreads, but you just simply lack the time or even the focus to make it happen? Well, I'm here to tell you that these 5 easy tips can change it all, or at least these did for me. Aren't they gorgeous? These books, wow. Little fishy, blue, red. Hello guys, I'm Jess and welcome to the start of a new video. In this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my tips and tricks to read more. Have you ever wondered, how can I read more? Or how can I be more intentional with my reading? If that's the case, then this video is for you. First one, easy tip. It might seem apparent. For me personally, it's setting a goal. It helps to have a goal set. So there's different ways to do this, and it helps me to know what I'm trying to accomplish reading-wise. So normally I would go on Goodreads. Goodreads has this nice little thing that allows you to set a goal for yourself for the year. So I mean, I usually go for something reasonable. Let's say 40-50 book is reasonable for me, all depends. So no competition there. It's your own personal goal. This helps me personally to have a vision of what I'm aiming to accomplish and to stay focused. It can also be as easy as setting a weekly or monthly TBR. Like if you're a mood reader, it can just be whatever strikes your mood, but you could have a goal, let's say 2 books a week or 1 book a week. It's just setting goals. The next one is a reading sprint, or just read with me on YouTube. So you can basically read more through peer encouragement. We're not gonna call it peer pressure because it's definitely peer encouragement. So you can go on YouTube. A lot of booktubers do this. You have these reading sprint. They usually announce the time ahead of time, and then you do this Pomodoro style. For anyone that's not familiar for Pomodoro, you have a section of it where you focus. Normally it's 60 minutes. And then you have a section where you take a break. It can be 10 minutes. And oftentimes when the 60-minute is approaching, my body just knows. I see the clock, I'm just, oh, that's why I'm tired. That's why I want a break. So it works perfectly. Sometimes I want to break a little bit before and I just push through it. And I've read so many pages doing that. And you're not alone. There's someone with you on the other side that's also reading. There's usually live chats. You could interact with other people, share what you're reading, and it's a way to share your love of books with others while staying motivated and accomplishing your reading goal. Secondly, there's these read with me on YouTube, and you can find like mood reader. There's usually a candle, rain, someone annotating a book, and it's zoomed on the book or it's zoomed on the person reading the book, and you just set that and you read on your own. Now these are for shorter periods of time, normally 30 minutes, an hour. It's like a read with friend kind of thing, but on YouTube. The third trick is setting the vibe. For myself at least, is so very important. So I'm gonna need to have a nice comfy corner where I'm reading. So I usually have nice pillows, my favorite blanket, the comfiest FPG, like it needs to be cozy. I have my favorite drink, tea or coffee, a bowl of water, some snack, variations, sweet, salty. I make it so comfy that if you just do not want to get up from there. So I get my book, I do all of that setup. I usually have candles. I love candles. I go for themes. I have cookie one, coffee, I have some midnight citrus, I have some theme for fall holidays, and I just light that up. Get my little snack, my drink, my comfy corner. Sometimes I put on the TV a little background. I like a fireplace or some music without voice. I don't want vocals. And I just enjoy, live in the present moment, enjoy it, and just read. And now for the next 2 tricks, a little disclaimer. These requires you to do what I don't do that often, and it's to go outside. Now, I like to stay in one place. I have my comfy spot, but sometimes I need a change of scenery. That just helps me refocus and get me motivated. So one of my favorite things to do when I do feel that way is to go out to a coffee shop, like a cafe. And usually Starbucks is my favorite one because their coffee are so good. So I just go there. They usually have comfy chair, sit in one. I set myself a time, I don't know, an hour or 2. If my drink runs out, I allow myself to order a second one. maybe sometime more. But the goal here is to be comfortable, have a good drink, and just to be in a place where you feel like other people are doing things or working. Sometimes at Starbucks you see students like working on their project, or even other people reading, and that just does a nice little change of scenery and helps me get focused. I have a goal, I'm in a good place, and it's a nice change. You can also go to a public library. For me, I was pleasantly surprised to find that my public library has this hidden corner with huge window and like these couch, like really comfy couch, and it's pretty spacious. So I just sat there with my book, and there's even these little plug on the floor. I got my laptop and I just decided to read there for the whole day, surprising myself. There's coffee machine downstairs, so maybe it's just me, but I seem to have a nice public library in my town. There's other people that come sometimes to read, but they don't sit that close. I think the general vibe here is I want to be with others, but kind of alone. So anyway, so that was good. And peer encouragement once again. So that worked quite well. And there's also, you could do a library. Some libraries have Starbucks or coffee place close by, or they have like places to sit and read. So that's another option, just to have this nice little change of scenery. And my last and final tip of this video is a little bit tied to number 4. It involves going outside, but this one is just diving into audiobook. No, I'm not a big audiobook listener. I like to read physical books, but sometimes for nonfiction, or if I want to follow a series that's just a 3 stars and I do want to read, but I don't want to necessarily take the time to sit down, or I'm just living a busy life, I just decide to listen to audiobook, and it works really well. So first off, I like to walk, so I just go on these walks. It could be from point A to point B, just not taking the car, or you listen to it in the car, whatever you do. But walking for me is a nice motivation. Sometimes it's a nice day out, I feel like I'm getting my steps in, and I listen to a book. So once again, it gets me reading, and I love it. But there's also the possibility to listen to audiobook when you're doing tasks, when you commute from work, and obviously listening to audiobook while you commute is much nicer because you can go hands-free, so that's a plus. So that's it for my 5 tips. I do hope you guys found them useful. The goal of this video was to be just short, quick, and to the point. That being said, I think it's important to conclude on one general idea. The book should be enjoyed and not rushed. But if you're like me and you have this huge TBR, you want to try a bunch of different genres, then these tips and tricks for me work perfectly, and I do hope you enjoy them as well. Bye bye, thank you for watching. Another sip.